Greetings, a bit of a simpler LGR video this time. As you can tell from the title, nothing too involved here. The more involved projects I had in the works aren't yet finished. They need more time, and at the moment, at least once this video goes live, I will be at Long Island Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, August 11th through 13th, 2023 at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in New York. Long Island, I guess. I don't know, never been there, either to New York or this show, but it seems pretty awesome. I've wanted to go for years, so I will be there hanging out the weekend that this video is going up. And since I'd rather not rush the more involved things than I normally do, we're going to go with something pretty simple here, but I don't know, to me is kind of debatably sort of maybe interesting. This is the Casio disc title printer, specifically the CW50 model from 2002. And this is one of those things that I just re-stumbled across back when I covered the disc tattooing system on LGR Oddware a while back. And you know, ever since I got my first CD burner like 23 years ago or whatever, I've had this on again, off again, back of my mind obsession with disc labeling systems, specifically those that let you label the discs directly. And with the disc tattooing system from Yamaha, that lets you burn on the data side some graphics into the die of the disc itself, but the results were rather underwhelming. But I remember seeing these type of things in stores like Staples and Office Depot or whatever. So what's different here is this is actually a thermal printer that lets you print directly onto just regular CDs, on the label side this time. You just put your CD in there and it doesn't burn directly onto it or anything. It's not a CD burner, but it is a thermal printer that plugs in via USB, and it's got some software, and you can print with different ribbons. So black, silver, red, blue, and green were available. I only have a black ribbon, so we're going to be testing that out. And you know, I've just always wondered, like, can this possibly work that well? I mean, thermal printing, sure, that's a great solution for a lot of things, but it really seems like it's going to depend on the particular discs that you're using. So for example, I notice here they're using these, which look like just plain lacquer finish discs with nothing on them, no third-party or vendor labeling. Like this one here is, but this appears to be a Sony CDR, but those have a very nice matte finish blank area on the CD. And there are a number of CDRs and different types of burnable media that I'm assuming they just wouldn't make sense for this at all. Like, you remember those vinyl CDRs? Yeah, like that probably isn't gonna work very well like that. You know, any of those that have the surfaces, also a nice alternative, it seems, maybe, to like those CD stomper systems where you just print out on a paper sticker and effectively just smash it down onto the CD, but those had a tendency to come unstuck or go on there weirdly, and then they could get jammed or, you know, come off inside of your CD player or drive, and that's a problem. And of course, there were also the inkjet printers that had a specialized area just for printing directly onto inkjet compatible blank media, but that required specific media, whereas this is just supposed to work on more things. Not everything, but more things. In fact, it does say here that satisfactory printing results may not be possible if you try to print on an inkjet printable disc, or a disc whose label has a rough surface or some design within the area. So we're gonna have to try that. But yeah, this being from 2002, this is also 2 years before LightScribe was a thing. So that was the solution I ended up going with back in the day, but curious if I had gotten this, would it have been any better? Yeah, it's a neat, tidy little design here. There were others. This is the first one from 2002. There was also the CW75 in 2004. And that one had like buttons and a display and everything, so you could do it without a computer. And then there was the CW100 that came in 2005. Pretty much the same thing as this, but it was just more vertical. And it lets you have a rotating or auto-rotating option inside there. This one I don't think actually rotates the disc for you, so you can only print on like one portion of the disc at a time. Yeah, we got a 16-watt power supply there, and ink ribbon, which this one might have been used already. I don't know, maybe it's dry. I have another one. and a regular old USB cable, all kinds of various warnings and paperwork bits, like all the things that can go wrong. Don't run out of CDRs and ribbons. Okay, so they did sell their own that didn't have any kind of text already on there. So $10 for each of the ribbons, $50 for a 100 pack of those CDRs. Not bad. Oh yeah, the software is still sealed. That's on CD-ROM for Windows 98 and higher. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a positioning guide. Gets it all aligned on there correctly. Quite the user's guide here. It's 80 pages. Well, I thought this would be quick and simple. You never know. Like one of those things, maybe somebody just used it once and put it back. Remove the tape, remove the packing material. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, there's that. That's kind of flimsy and cheap feeling, but you know. This was $130 in 2002, by the way, but it wasn't long before you could see them getting pretty hefty discounts later on, according to the old newspaper ads that I found. Interesting. I guess it just does nothing without it being connected to USB. Either that or it's dead, the power's dead, and that would suck. Okay, well, I guess we'll try this one first. I mean, it's thermal, right? It shouldn't dry out. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot. And if I need to, we'll get the other cartridge that I have. All right. Yeah, let's get this plugged into a computer and title some discs. All right, so the disk titler is plugged into the Windows XP PC, ready to go there with the power and USB. It does power on once USB is connected. And then over here, we've got the computer itself running. We'll just get the disk title printer program opened up here, and yeah, this is pretty much it. You can get some templates if you want to pre-select some designs, or you can just go with a free design, either text or text with photos. Open other pre-made ones, or just, you know, start with here and choose your template. So you've got print patterns, pretty much just how you want the text or images oriented on the disk itself. So top and bottom, just top or bottom with a rounded shape to it or not, or, you know, flip the round thing down, flip it and reverse it or whatever. You know, you can mirror them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory if you've ever used a CD label maker. So let's just go into, well, we're gonna do a free design here with images. Oh, interesting, you can't choose the different patterns. You can choose some different ones, so I'll just go with that. So we have a top and bottom pattern going on. Let's add text up here at the top. We gotta do something goofy, like, you know. Okay, well that's as big as we can go, at least with Comic Sans. And down here, we're gonna put in an image. You can do a pattern or error diffusion dithering option here. I don't have, oh wait, no, I do have some images from like, oh yeah, that's right, this was that iPac camera. Let's go with one of these little Keen and Doom guy figures. Oh wow, that's gonna be very, well, you know. Oh, the dithering is truly awful, but kind of awesome at the same time. Can we change? Yeah, there we go. That looks a little better with error diffusion. We'll just get a full area down here printing out, and it'll just crop off whatever. It can't print in that big, stupid looking rectangle. So let's press print. That automatically pops open. I'm just gonna leave this open here so we can see it do its thing. But yeah, we'll need a CDR, of course. I still do have this thing from LGR Blurbs, so it's quite handy. Yeah, I've chosen these here because they're just pretty standard CDRs with a manufacturer label on the top. So it's got this sort of matte finish going on, but also the section where it's just not really labeled. It's just the regular lacquer showing through there, cut out. So just curious how it'll react to different surfaces. And since it does the top of it first, we got to rotate it around like this and just sort of plop it down in there. But there is, you know, a bit of leeway here, and that is what the guide is for. So we just put that right there. And now we can rotate it around and get it hopefully in just the right spot. You know, it's precisely imprecise. And now on the computer, we can just hit start printing. Ooh. Well, what in the world? That looks pretty good. That's more of a disc tattoo than the Yamaha disc tattoo machine. Just right on there. Interesting that it doesn't actually adhere or print on those parts there where it's just sort of lacquer. I don't know, maybe there's just a different finish there. It's almost more of a, I don't know, it's just different. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, so let's try the other side down here, see how that goes. And that's right, I gotta put it around this way. Sort of the opposite of what you might think. Looks pretty good. And we'll start printing. Wow. Well, I'm glad that this ink cartridge is working well. I don't have to unbox the other one I have for now, but wow, again, that looks really good for what it is. But yeah, it's those lines or wherever these parts are where the regular label isn't, it does not like printing on those whatsoever. That is fascinating. It's so cool though. I really like the way the dithered looks. That's, oh dude, this is neat. Okay. I'm getting kind of excited, weirdly. Let's try a different type of CDR here. So this has, or well, this is a DVD-R, but it doesn't matter. This has a label like this, which is matte finish, but there isn't any kind of logo stuff in the way there. So maybe this will be awesome. And I don't care too much about the guide here. Let's just print this out. Yeah, that is looking wonderful. Check that out. That is phenomenal looking for a machine like this. Just thermal printing straight on there. That's a good surface for it, apparently. Let's do the image. Ah, crap. Well, I forgot to rotate it around. I guess we get to see it overlap now. Not what I intended, but apparently, yeah, you can just overlap printing right there, which, interesting. Okay, let's try to do that how I meant to now. Doesn't look as good as the other one did. Wasn't expecting that much of a difference, but this looks way better. It just has the lines going through it. But yeah, this one, it almost has this sort of like, I don't know, it's like a softer label. It is really interesting, the differences here. Okay, let's try another one here. I have a straight label-less DVD. This is just all lacquer. This seems to be the ideal option according to Casio. I mean, that just looks like a straight up, almost official CD label. That's really cool. Wow, yeah, it still does not look as good as that first one did. Maybe the lacquer, just no label, is not the best solution. It's like it needs a bit of a silvery background to really make things shine through, at least for dithered images like this, but nothing else getting in the way like these lines are getting in the way. Well, what about some of these color DVDs or some of these CDs? Yeah, cool color CDRs. They have a pattern, but it's slightly different. Yeah, that's kinda got the pattern showing through just a bit there. Let's see how the image fares. Not bad, but not great either. Yeah, that pattern really messes things up. Any patterns do. But those two are honestly kind of my favorite so far. If it weren't for the patterns showing through them. Huh. Okay, now one thing it said not to try, inkjet printer media. I think specifically because of just the way the thermal adhesion works with heat. Well, no, that's going on there. Well, yeah, that definitely did some, like, there's a border around there. It's not rubbing off. It's not rubbing off in any of these. I was seeing some reports that sometimes it'll just rub off of certain surfaces like these here, but seems okay. Let's try the image. Ooh. Well, that isn't bad. Compared to that very first one, it's honestly pretty good. It's better than the lacquer one, in my opinion. Huh. I was not expecting that. Like, what exactly was the warning in the manual? Yeah, it was actually in the back of the box. Print head must be able to move across the surface. You might not get satisfactory results on an inkjet printable disc. Seems pretty good, honestly. Other than that sort of little border around there that you can see. It's very faint, though. Well, now I'm just morbidly curious. Okay, what about the top transparent blank that goes on the top protecting portion of your CD spindles when you get blanks? Let's just try it. They're a little bit thinner than a normal CDR, so. Oh, it's printing. I wasn't fully expecting that to work. Because yeah, they are thinner just by a hair than a normal CDR. Okay. Image time. Let's see what this does. Ah, that's so silly. Oh, what else can I put in here? Yeah, it's probably a dumb idea to put things that aren't CDs, but you know what? Now I'm thinking, oh, one other thing I can try though. The CD that it came with. Like, what about just putting a little, I don't know, property of LGR or something on there? If I can just figure out where it should go. Yeah, like right with the middle farts, where that is. Yeah, something like that. Oh, it doesn't want to do it at all. Interesting. It didn't stick even in the slightest. Fascinating. Can I do the other side? I've already backed this thing up, so how about tattooing the data side in the disc tattoo tradition? I think that worked. Oh yeah. Right in the data area. Well, I don't think that'll be readable anymore. You know, science. Sometimes it's not about whether you should, but whether or not you could. Or what about the CD sleeve it came in? It's not the same thickness, but you know, it is kind of the size. I was actually gonna try like a 5 1/4 inch floppy, but it's too wide. Oh my goodness. Thermal printers, baby. They don't care. They'll print on basically whatever if you push it hard enough, I guess. Oh man, as long as the surface will take a print. This is... All right, taking bets on whether or not this will still read. Let's try it. Oh my goodness. I mean, there wasn't a ton of data on here, but I thought for sure that we printed on top of the data. Maybe we did, because it seems to be stopping here. Not surprising if so. Yeah, there we go. Data error, CRC. Like I said, I did already have this already fully backed up. It's on archive.org. Check the link in the description. Yeah, this thing is pretty great. I mean, all the stuff that we can do on here, this is so much more enjoyable than the disc tattooing thing with its terrible burning on the on the data side, putting hard to see images. I mean, obviously the thermal printer is going to be way better, but This is still better than I thought. And it really makes me wish that I had one that did full-sized CD labels. Oh no, how long is it gonna be until I splurge on some decommissioned litho offset machine? Alright, well that is about it for this bit of delightful silliness, I suppose. It's really quite the enjoyable thing, the CW50. Kind of curious about the other models now, but as far as I know, they work pretty much identically. Do let me know if you ever used one of these back in the day, or alternatives. I don't know. I do want to get one that's full color if possible, but I don't even know if that kind of thing exists in a thermal printer variant. I've only seen the inkjet ones, but yeah, again, this is just a simple video for this week while I'm away at the show and also just in between working on more involved projects. But yeah, if you do happen to be at Long Island Retro and see me there, say hi for sure. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, as simple as it was. And as always, thanks for watching.